All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If it's your first time here, please do me a huge favor by dropping a like on the video and subscribing to the channel if you have not already. And for all my returning subscribers, thank you. I really do appreciate all the support. And for all of my new subscribers, we've been growing on the channel, really appreciate all the support. Welcome. Thank you for dropping by for another video. Let's go ahead and get started. So today, we have got a special shoe, a shoe that I have really been wanting for a long time. And we're gonna go ahead and start with the box. That shoe is the Reebok Shaq Attack 2, by the way. Sorry, Shaq Attack 1. I'm jumping ahead. So we got black Reebok box, Shaq branding and logo on the top there, as you can see. Reebok classic stuff around the box there. And you've got your size tag information here. I picked this up in the US men's size 9.5. And we'll talk about sizing and everything a little bit later. Now, here we have it, y'all. The Reebok Shaq Attack. Go ahead, drop your comments down below. Let me know what y'all think, man. Do you remember this shoe? This shoe released in 1992, man. So we are talking, what, 30 years ago. 30 years, y'all. Now, a lot of y'all are probably gonna say, man, I don't like this shoe. What is this shoe? It is a classic. That's what it is. It is one of Reebok's best shoes, more recognizable basketball shoes of all time. In my opinion, it is right up there with the Reebok Question, the whole Allen Iverson line, the Shaq shoe, the Reebok Kamikaze, Shawn Kemp line of shoes, all of that. They are right along, the same classic Reebok shoes, man. And I just had to get this shoe. Now, like I said, this shoe debuted or released back in 1992, I believe during Shaq's rookie year, I think. It was right around that time. But anyway, when he was playing for the Orlando Magic. So that's why you have the white, black, and the hits of blue on the shoe to kind of, pair with the Orlando Magic uniform. This shoe actually, I think, released the last time, I don't know, maybe 2013 or so. And I remember seeing it, I think it was, I can't remember what store, but I remember seeing it on the shelf, but I didn't pick it up. I don't know why. I've always liked this shoe, always wanted a pair, but I just didn't grab them for whatever reason. But let's go ahead and just get right into the review and start talking about this shoe. So this right here, like I said, is the Reebok Shaq Attack. It is Shaquille O'Neal's signature shoe. You can see branding on it, all that stuff, which is great. Now, you've got a white leather upper. Now, go ahead and talk about the leather. I've seen a few videos. A lot of people have been talking about it. Now, to be 100% honest, is it the best leather ever on a shoe? Absolutely not. Now that I have it in hand, do I think that it is horrible? No. We'll talk about the toe box and everything. I think it's just a standard kind of regular, just a smooth white leather. That's all it is. There's nothing fancy about it at all. I wish it was a little bit better, to be 100% honest, but it is what it is. We've also got, I wanted to say at first it was suede, but it's more like a black kind of like tumbled or kind of pebbled looking leather there. And you've got the gray suede that runs through it right there as well to create that kind of Reebok Vector logo that you see, Reebok's classic logo there. And you got the white Reebok text stitched on the side right there too. So nice hits all over this shoe. Really, really glad to have this one in the collection. Let's take a look at the toe box. So I mentioned the toe box earlier when we talked about the leather. So I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully you can see there. I'm pressing down on it. There's no like real super tumbled or anything like that. And I'm fine. I'm not a person that like has to have tumbled leather on the shoe a lot. But it does kind of feel just like your standard kind of almost like, I want to say like kind of older Jordan brand type leather, if that makes sense. If you've been collecting for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels kind of, I don't like to use the term plasticky a lot, but that kind of is like what people use, the term they use may describe a more kind of standard, not super high quality leather, okay? I think it's synthetic leather, by the way. If I'm wrong, just correct me in the comments. But like I said, I still like this shoe. I mean, it's a classic, but I do wish they kind of use better materials on certain areas of the shoe, but not a big deal. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm trying to help y'all out if y'all want to pick the shoe up. So Moving up the tongue, I've always liked this kind of bright blue on the, I don't know what this material is, but you've got it right there on the tongue of the shoe. And you've got flat white laces as well. And as you get to the top, we've got the Reebok pump technology. One of the more, like, just a classic. When I think, like, there's like almost nothing else like this, man. Like, it's just every time I see that pump, like, I've got to get the shoe, man. It's just nice. And if you don't know, this was basically done back in the day to provide a more kind of lockdown fit. So you do so by using the pump here. So pump it up and it would tighten up around, I think the older models tightened up around the ankle as well. I could be wrong, but I feel like it used to. But you do that to kind of tighten it up. And this one actually does work. It pumps around the actual tongue of the shoe. And then you can release it as well. So let me see if it actually, hopefully you heard that, but it did release. You press, there's a little valve underneath here to the left of the pump. So when you're pumping it, I'm trying to see if I can get it in the mic. It did a little bit, but it does work. That's the point I'm trying to tell you. So you got the black basketball there with the pump logo in white. All right, and on the back of the tongue, you've got the Shaq logo, another nice touch. I really, really like that they have Shaq's name on it. I think Shaq actually might have something to do with the Reebok brand now. I feel like I remember hearing that in the news. If he doesn't, he's like working with another company that's partnered with them. I don't remember, but I'm guessing that he is involved because they actually have his name on the shoe, because when they dropped the Kamikaze, they did not have Shawn Kemp's name on the shoe anywhere, and it used to be down here below the laces. So on the Kamikaze 1, I believe, the 2, I think. But just figured I'd mention, I'm just glad to see they had the Shaq branding on the shoe. All right, so medial side of the shoe, you got pretty much the same thing, y'all. Just don't have the Reebok text stitched on the side, but want to give y'all another look at this classic shoe, y'all. Classic stuff right here. All right, let's take a look at the heel. There's a better look at that Shaq branding. They got the Shaq text and the Dunk logo. Classic stuff right here, man. If you grew up back in the day, I don't have to say much. Y'all already know how popular this shoe was. Okay, now let's take a look at the outsole. Got that nice blue and black outsole there. Got some hits of white as well. And you got this kind of carbon fiber plate. I don't know if it's real carbon fiber or not, but it looks nice. All right, there you have it. Now on the actual insole, I don't know if I can take it out. It's kind of, it'll come out, it's kind of glued in, but I'll just read it to you. There's some text here that says Reebok, all men count on you, but none too much. And you have the Shaq branding logo. I'll try and see if you can, hopefully you can make that out. Maybe, and let's see what's on the other one. The same thing. So there's that. And I do want to call out one thing. There are some elastic bands in here around the tongue as well. So I just want to mention that because sometimes elastic bands can make the shoe fit a little tight. But I got a 9.5 and that doesn't really bother me on this shoe. But yeah, that's about all for the Reebok Shaq Attack. So let's just go ahead and talk about sizing really quick. So I picked this up in a 9.5. Now my foot measures at about an 8.5 lengthwise, but I consider myself a true 9 because I've had a couple pair of Jordans back in the day in a size 8.5, and they are so uncomfortable, I cannot wear them. So I always buy a size 9. But if you've been collecting for a while, you know sometimes these brands can, like, their materials or their sizing is a little bit weird. So I have a lot of shoes in size 9 that I very rarely wear because they don't fit well. So I always go with a 9.5, which in my opinion is like my kind of half size up. That's a lot, but what I will say, there is just a little bit more room in this shoe. I kind of wish I would have went true to size, but I feel like if I did, I might have some issues on the side here because I do have a kind of wide foot, but I'll just show you where my toe is in here. So my toe is probably at when I rest my feet. Some people like to kind of point their toes up when they're showing you, and really that's not how you're going to be walking in the shoe with your toes up. But my toe, when it's kind of flat in the shoe resting, it's about right at the end of my finger there. So I've got a good thumbs width, maybe just a tad bit more, but I'm okay with it. Part of me wants to try a true size 9, but I'm not gonna go through all the hassle of sending it back and getting a size 9 and all that stuff. So I'll just stick with the 9.5 because I feel like it's got enough room. And if you wear like bigger socks or any kind of thicker socks, it's just gonna feel more tight on your foot. And I don't like having to worry about which socks I'm gonna wear with what shoes. You know what I mean? So go true to size and you should be good in this shoe. Now that's a lot, guys. That's about all for the Reebok Shaq Attaq. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of the shoe. Did you pick it up? I almost forgot to mention, this shoe retailed for $180. And on Reebok, you could not use a coupon. So I did pick up a pair from Finish Line. And Finish Line, actually, I was able to use a coupon. So I had a $20 reward, as well as I found a $15 off for, like, if the shoe is over or the order is over $150. So I got $35 off. I ended up paying, I think, around after tax, like $155, $160 or so, something like that. So I did get these under retail, which was great because they retailed at $180. And I know a lot of people were complaining about that price point. It's a little high, but like I said, use those coupons, y'all. Search for coupons, get your rewards, and use them on these shoes, man. So that's all, you know, for the Reebok Shaq Attaq. I do appreciate all the support from the channel lately. Thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you again, and I will see you next time.